I want to have a conversation with you today. And I found this quote from my favorite person, my inspiration, Oprah Winfrey. And she says, "Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you." Hence, I'm sitting right here now because this is what excites me. Talking, sharing, coaching, helping someone to look at life differently, to motivate you to, to get some things going, to find your dream, to find your passion, to find your goal, to just go after it. And when I think of what qualifies me to do that, my exuberant personality and my experiences and my giftings and talents, which is the ability to listen, yes, to give sound advice and to share love. I'm very compassionate, and I'm just, warm and cuddly. You think so? You believe me? But yes, I love encouraging persons. I love when I share something with someone, they say, "Wow, I didn't see it that way. I didn't think of it like that. But wow, you just taught me something. You just encouraged me. You just, let me feel like I want to. You let me feel seen. You let me feel heard. You let me feel like I can do this. You let me feel, like I'm not that bad, or, I can get help, or I can be vulnerable, as we're going to talk about being vulnerable today. And it's a form of self-care, and it's one of the first steps in becoming self, or to gear yourself towards your journey of becoming or shifting yourself from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. You have to first become vulnerable. You have to first become honest. And we know, right now I'm talking about being vulnerable. Maybe some persons are a little bit nervous because vulnerable means I'm going to tell persons my story, and I'm going to tell persons my business, and I'm going to, open up, and I'm going to look weak, and I don't want anyone to sorry for me, and I don't want to look, contradicting, because sometimes I project like I'm okay, and I just want to be tough and strong, and I just want everybody to know that I got it. I got this. I got this. I don't have to talk about it. I don't need to talk to anyone. I got this. I can do this myself. But we all need someone to motivate us. We all need encouragement. And it doesn't matter what gifts and talents you have, you need someone like me, to coach you through your life. Yeah. Because when I think of it, what if Usain Bolt said he didn't want a coach? He was talented. He's talented. He was talented when he was on the tracks, but he did need a coach, right? What about Serena Williams? What if she never coach? I watched that movie with her, I think it was her biography, and it was just beautiful. It brought me to tears, while their father searched, for coach for them. They had the talent, they had the gifts. He knew they had something in them. He knew they could play tennis, but then he couldn't find anyone who wanted to coach them, to become their best self. Nobody wanted to, because they're two black girls, and but the father decided that he was gonna, he had to get somebody to coach them. We want to shift that mindset that we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't need anyone. We don't need, we don't need someone to coach us, or we don't need a counselor. I got this, because the book I'm reading from Martha Beck. When I researched last night, I realized that Martha Beck is Oprah Winfrey's life coach. I was like, yeah. And here's a question. While we talk about, being the art of being vulnerable, It says, now every time I witness a strong person, I want to know, what dark did you conquer in your story? Mountains do not rise without earthquake. And this is from Catherine MACKENNETT. You know, while I even talk with you, I realize, that all of my experiences come from, that I had to encounter. Things I overcome, it becomes like second nature when I have my client, and it comes naturally in sharing with them what I myself have been through and how they can go through it too. Because at that time I thought it was heavy, it was bad, it was, a lot. But then I realized that I myself can overcome that. The first thing I want to begin with, I want to begin emphasizing that vulnerability is strength and expansion, not weakness and isolation. It's not sharing who I am because I don't want persons to view me, less than, or I don't want persons to know that I have this dealing with, or I need help overcoming this. We have a culture where we have persons want to, be tough because tough look like strong. And, oh, I got this, while, underneath persons are really struggling. And I don't think it's fair to us in this 21st century to be struggling with what somebody has gone through, somebody will go through it, and somebody is going through it right now. Nothing is new under the sun. The game doesn't change, just the players. The game of life is always the same. Life is going to be life. Life will always life. And somebody somewhere has gone through what you're going through. Somebody will go through what you're going through. And there's no need for us in this 21st century to pretend and to mask that we have it together. When you're not sleeping at night, you're not eating well, you're not balancing your time management is off, no structure, no boundary, the relationship, your marriage, your relationship is not in the best shape, but, persons are pushed to get up every day, and we know you have to be strong, you have to keep going. But as I said, and as I want to say again, I don't think it is fair to you that in this 21st century, when there are so many persons who can help us, there's so many coaches, so many life coaches, so many counselors, it's so accessible. There's so many, persons that can help. There's so many information that is available at our fingertip to continue to mask and to pretend as though life is going well when it's not. And we want to get away with the narrative of, being vulnerable or becoming vulnerable as weakness. Confronted, especially with ourselves. Rather, it is something we hide in the depth of our soul. We are brought into this world from our mother's womb. We hold the most precious innate innocence, curiosity, awe, and vulnerability. When a child falls and gets a cut, he or she cries out of the pain. When a child is happy, you see it reflected in their smiles, grins, and sometimes they express it in dance. Kisses on your cheeks or a tight, long hug. There are no holding back in being vulnerable. They also know how to show up for themselves and their truth, which unfortunately is a skill we are conditioned to abandon grow older. We learn to cover up or fracture pieces. We do it with this word, shame. Yeah, we don't want to feel shameful because we are now feeling that if we be vulnerable, someone is going to know that, something is off, and and that shame. We want to work on those things. They're going to laugh at you. You are not good enough. You are not worthy. You should do this instead. It will fall on deaf ear. It happened in the past. It will happen again. Why bother? I will find love again. Will I find love again? There is no need to overshare. I am undeserving of love. All these thoughts will come in your mind, but want you to confront your reasons for feeling shameful, and you will be one step closer to embracing your vulnerability. Vulnerability is the birthplace of connection and the path towards worthiness. Bernie Brown, and it's so I believe it. Let's look at vulnerability and courage. Mastering the art of vulnerability does not take a day, a week, or a month. It is a lifelong skill. It is unlearning what adulting taught us and renewing what we have forgotten. Mastering the art of vulnerability means constantly making a mindful decision to show up for your worth and for your authentic self. It is making the conscious choice for your expansion within and honoring the outcomes with gratitude. Be soft. Our world still needs people who display those qualities. Be unshamed. Most of all, be the best version of the beautiful mess of message you are. Yes. So I want to encourage you today to view vulnerability as growth. You will not grow to your maximum self if it is that you entertain these feelings, as I shared with you how we came into the world as a child, and what for some reason or socialization has allowed us to know what shame is. And one such thing I realized, and I'm trying not to do it. There's so much things that I'm learning that I'm trying, to do. We point things out to children. For example, they are, putting on a little weight. We draw attention to it, and they become, aware that I'm not thin, I'm chunky, or I'm thick, and I need to do something. And a lot of things like that in our culture, we call out what we see wrong with persons, what we think, they should work on. We call it out, and we think that we're helping them when we call it out. And hence, while on your journey moving from childhood to adolescent to adult, you realize that you start having that consciousness you don't want to share. It's better to mask it and to say, I don't need it, or it's not bothering me, while behind closed door, it's a mess. I encourage you today, get my book, and also to join March Masterclass. It's gonna be February is still going on. We are about to finish, and it has been great and wonderful. The reviews are good, and March is coming up. For the 30 days, you get focused. We're gonna dive into becoming and self-esteem and all of those things that mindset that's gonna shift your whole perspective, you know, and find out where, you know, you lose that to become vulnerable and start masking. You know, we want to work on those things. It's only $30 for registration. It's about available in US and Jamaican currencies. Yes, all the information are on my page. I'll tag the link in the video if I can, maybe, and all of those things. Have yourself a blessed day. Bye bye.